Welcome to Everyday Linux User. In today's video I am going to be reviewing Peppermint OS. Now this is Peppermint OS and you can see it's actually a really nice wallpaper, and a really nice wallpaper can make a distribution look extra special. In this review I'm going to see if it is indeed. Now I've used Peppermint OS before in the past and it's gone through many iterations. It used to be LXDE as the desktop environment, and the main selling point back then was the fact that you could run web applications as normal desktop applications. So for instance you could use the online Microsoft Office and it looked like a desktop application. Now Peppermint is Debian or Debian based, so Debian has system D, Debian doesn't, and in this review I'll go through what makes Peppermint OS different from other distributions. Is it better than other distributions? Where would it fit in the terms of why would you use this over something else? So you can see when you first log in you come to this welcome screen and it has suggested packages, system changes, customizations, documents and logs, and you can disable this at auto start, but I'll leave it there for now. Before I go for suggested packages, let's see what packages are installed. So you can see it's XFCE based, and this is the whisker menu. The styling is very nice for Peppermint OS by default, and you can see all applications. Under favourites should have your favourites, and you can add things to your favourites recently used. So I'm using this simple screen recorder to record this video, and I've used Mousepad as a text editor. So under accessories, application finder, a screenshot tool, file manager, all the stuff you'd expect to see. Under graphics you've got Image Magic. Under internet you've got something called Kumo. We'll look at that shortly. Multimedia, you've got simple screen recorder, which I installed. So there's not much, there's no office tools, no multimedia, so it's fairly a blank canvas really. So you can see there's no real applications installed. There's a file manager, there's a terminal. I can't find a web browser. So let's go into the suggested, because I think you're not going to get anywhere until you've installed some of the suggested packages. So here's your suggested web browsers. I'm going to install Chromium, and just type in your password. Press Y to install it. So that's not now installed. So if I go into the menu and go to internet, you can see Chromium is there. I can right click and add that to favourites if I want to, and you can also add it to the desktop if you want to do that as well. Let's prove it works. And you can see you can get to my YouTube channel quite easily, and it all works fine. So that was using Debian packages to install packages. So if you understand apt, you can install any package you want. For instance, if I do sudo apt search LibreOffice, you can see I could install LibreOffice from the package manager. So let's do that, sudo apt install LibreOffice. But that's not very user friendly for people that are new to Linux. Whilst this will work and I will get LibreOffice installed, that's not the easiest method for new and inexperienced users. So that's installed. If I go into my menu now, there's now an Office menu, and you can see I've got LibreOffice Writer, etc. there. So again, I could add that to my favourites. I can add Calc to my favourites, and I can add Impress to my favourites. The rest I won't, because I use them less often. prove it works. And it loads quite quickly and it's fairly flexible. So now using apt to install packages. So I guess where Peppermint's going with this is if you're a seasoned Linux user, then you can use apt to install packages. But they've also provided the ability to install Flatpack and Snap. So if I install Flatpack here, then that's going to add the ability to install packages via Flatpack. So you can still keep your system kind of light, but now have the ability to install Flatpaks as well. So for a seasoned user, you're keeping your system fairly light because you haven't got this heavy Gnome software store installed. Now, whilst I've installed Flatpak using the Flatpak package platform option here, if I do Flatpak remotes, you can see it's got no remote, so it hasn't got Flathub installed. So at the moment I'm still in a place where I can't install any really usable Flatpaks. So if you go to Chromium and you search for flatpak.org setup/Debian, then it gives you the commands you need to install Flatpaks. So the apt install Flatpak was clearly what this button here has done. So now we're going to add in the repository. And you have to enter your password. And now you have to restart your computer. So I'll do that now. So now I've re-logged in and I've typed in Flatpak remotes again. You can see FlatHub's now installed. So what you can do is go to flatpak.org and it gives you all the apps that are there. So you can search in here for apps. So for instance, if I want to search for Chrome, I could do that. I can go in there and I can install using this button here. If you click on this down arrow here, you can install it using this command here. So this is what you'd copy and you paste into here, and it's found it, and I can click Y to install and it'll tell me the changes it's going to make, and it's now installing Google Chrome from the Flatpak. Alternatively, I can open up another terminal. I can do Flatpak search and I can search for, say, Steam. And you see it lists all the applications that have got anything to do with Steam involved. So you can see there they've got Steam launcher for the Steam software. And you can install it by taking just the application ID and doing the same command here. So it'd be Flatpak install Flathub be com.valvesoftware.steam. That would be the command. But it really is easy just to type Steam in here. Click on that and then click there, and then you can see you've got the command there. Now, all this being said, it's not the easiest way to install software if you're just a normal computer user. Having to type in command lines, people don't want to do that. If not everybody wants to install applications from the command line. Google is now complete, so I can close this window down, and if I go to the internet page, you can see Chrome is now installed and it works perfectly well. But what most people will want to do is, if you go into suggested, you're going to want to go to the Gnome software store and install that. So what Peppermint's doing for you is it's saying, here's a base system with hardly anything, but here's the things you'll need if you're an everyday Linux user. You can install the Gnome software store, and you can add Flatpaks in as well. What is missed is the addition of the Flathub remote as an option, but other than that, that's what it's trying to do. It's giving you a base for most users that are experienced to install their software, but for the inexperienced users, it's giving you the software you need to install software as well. So I'll come back to this page because you will need to install the Gnome software Flatpak plugin. So if I select that, copy, and open up a terminal, do sudo and paste that in. It's going to enable Flatpaks to work with the Gnome software manager. Another small omission I feel from this suggested software list here, or it should just do that automatically as soon as you install the software store, or give you the option. But yeah, so even if you install Flatpak package platform, you're not getting FlatHub installed, and you're not getting the plugins for either Gnome software or Plasma. So anyway, that's installed. I should be able to close this down now, and close this down. And if I go into here, I should be able to type Gnome. You can see there's a software option. If I click that, so here we are in the Gnome software manager, and I can search for Steam. And if I click into here, you can see it's giving me the FlatHub option. I can also install the Peppermint package, which has got an unknown source. So I can install now from either FlatHub or Peppermint's repositories. We're going to leave that installed in the background. So let's look at some of this other stuff. We've got Peppermint Hub, and this is sort of like a control panel. So I haven't shown you any hardware stuff yet, so let's do that. Down here, you can see you've got the wireless networks. So I've already chosen my one, but if I disconnect it, you can see I've got other available networks. And if I want to set up a printer, you've got this option here for printers. And you can see it's already found my printer, so I don't have to do anything there. And then we're looking at Bluetooth. And it doesn't look like it's got anything to do with Bluetooth set up. The easiest way to find out is to open up a terminal and type in Bluetooth. Bluetooth's not found, so Bluetooth is not installed as part of Peppermint. You've got disk utilities. This will help you manage your disks. You've got system information, which tells you about your installation. And XDaily seems to be doing your updates for you. And it tells you 142 packages to be upgraded, and it's doing it. So XDaily is an update tool. We've got pulse audio settings, users and groups, and general XFCE settings. So on the right hand side, you've got the software tool. So you can see I installed Gnome Store earlier on, and you've seen the suggested. So now we're going to go into Synaptic. So if you don't like using apt from the command line, you can use Synaptic and search for packages this way. So we can ignore that message. And so one thing that we know was omitted, so we're going to search for Blue Man. And that gives us a graphical Bluetooth manager, so we'll mark that for installation. So let's apply. And you see I've got Bluetooth manager now. Should it get enabled automatically? Yes. And then we can search for Bluetooth devices. You can see it's found one device, two devices. So I'm going to connect to this one because I know this is a Bluetooth speaker.
Connecting.
And it says it's connected. So let's try that out. We're going to go to one of my videos.
Did live.
So once you've got Ventoy installed on that USB, it means it's completely reusable again and again and again, and you don't have to worry about using tool. So you could hear that coming through the speaker there. One thing that's worth noting, you might have to go down to the audio options, click here, and then choose where the sound's going to actually come out, because it might be a default option. So I had to choose the Bluetooth device to play the audio through. So that's how you get Bluetooth working, fairly simple. We've got this app image hub. Now it's worth noting, Synaptic, you can search for any package that is within apt. So you can see I search for Firefox, and Firefox is there. There's a whole load of other packages as well. It's not the easiest system to search through, but it is possible to find what you're looking for. We've got this app image hub. Now I'm finding that the app image hub isn't actually doing very much. I've launched it multiple times and it just keeps going back to this white page. So I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm clicking here. Now it says the catalogue has 1,347 app images that can be downloaded and launched automatically within Linux. You've got a login or a register, and up here you've got a search. So let's search for Etcher, for instance. And it seems to get stuck at that point. So it looks like this app image thing, there's various links, and the theming stops it from working, because you can see if I click around the page here, it's just not showing the page that is under the links. So I can click around, it will change the links, and I can click around and it's... So I don't think this is working as it should be. So we'll close that. Let's go to the Snap Store. And that doesn't seem to be doing very much either. So there's a couple of things here that don't appear to be doing what you expect them to do. So all this has been about installing software, really, all the suggested packages. We've done the system tools in the Peppermint Hub, we've got Bluetooth working, printers working, Wi-Fi working. So generally the system's now in a reasonable state. You've got the online documentation here. So you can see from this that we've worked out what Kumo is. It's a site-specific browser. So let's see if we can learn more about that by running it. So we'll call it Everyday Linux User. Enter the URL, and we'll call it so. And then we type save there. And now if I wanted to, I can click that, click run, and it will load Everyday Linux User into this browser application here. So this is the ability to run run web applications as if they're desktop applications in its own window. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's working 100% on this machine. It's only loaded to 50% here, and the screen's gone white, and it's just like the app image SSB that we looked at earlier. It's not getting anywhere, so I'm not sure if that's working or not. On a second attempt, you can see it's now loaded. And you can see that it started playing the adverts before my video, but yeah, it does work. But you can see that when I tried it from the hub for the app image hub, this one isn't loading properly when you click through links. You can see as I move the mouse around, it's changing links. it's like it's not themed properly. So that's Kumo. So that's really the end of the review. So what have we learned about Peppermint OS? Okay, so it's a Debian-based distribution. It's got nice theming. It's easy to install applications to a point. If you use the suggested software, you can install the Gnome software manager. If you want to use a graphical tool, you can use Synaptic, and you can install Flatpacks, but then you still have to do the setup of Flat Hubs. The app image thing, you've got this site-specific browser thing called Kumo, which loads sites as so web applications as a desktop application. It's a bit hit and miss. Hardware-wise, printers work, Wi-Fi works. Bluetooth I had to install, but that was fairly easy. Installing that from Synaptic. It was easy for me because I knew what I had to install. So I knew I had to install Blueman. So for new users, it might be nicer if that came installed by default. But it did work instantly as soon as I installed it. All in all, it's a decent enough distribution. Where does it sit with regards to other distributions? So if you took base Debian, you'd have to install a lot of this stuff yourself anyway. So if you're not at that level and you don't want to install all this stuff and you don't want to start from scratch, then Debian's probably not for you, and Peppermint's above Debian. But then if you look at things like MX Linux, which is Debian based, it has a lot more tooling installed that works out of the box, so your Bluetooth and all that's going to work straight away, and it's a lot easier to install packages. So I'm not sure where Peppermint fits. So you've got things like Linux Lite as well that also provide the ability to use Debian with extra stuff on top. So all in all, Peppermint's okay, but I'm just not sure what selling point is given me over other distributions at this point. In the past, I really liked the whole site-specific browsers, and it worked really well previously. But I'm just not sure where Peppermint fits. That's not to say don't use it, because it works. It's good enough. But is it better than MX Linux? Probably not. Is it lighter than MX Linux? Probably not. Is it more controlled than MX Linux? Probably not. What does it give you other than a little bit more than Debian? Yeah, that's the end of the review. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on Everyday Linux User.